It's WNCW. We're live in Studio B with Caleb Klauder and his country band. The chemistry between you guys is great. Beautiful vocal work. This is rich in here. I hear it, and I just really I'm taken back to the sounds of Spade Cooley and Tex Williams. And I wonder, do you revisit old radio shows or really old recordings for inspiration?
So yeah, sometimes I feel like I have, and I mean, I love a lot of the old Carter family stuff and a lot of the old early bluegrass,
right? And
some of the early country as well. I think I've gotten away from that more and more, but yeah, definitely. I try not to make sure. I don't really want to get stuck as being just like reenacting something,
right? And
so I actually, in a way, kind of steer away from it a little bit in the sense that I take inspiration from good music that I love. And there's a lot of different elements that I try to put into the music that we have. And it sounds country, of course, because of the instrumentation. But there's no need for anything to be reenacted in anything. In my mind, there's a lot of, like, we all have licks that we've all learned from our favorite steel player, fiddle player, and drummer and whatnot, and all that stuff. So just a matter of feeling what it is in this song right now and play it.
So I guess the question you can slam me back with is the music formulaic? I mean, in a certain fashion.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the things that is fun when you get to a group of musicians together that kind of get the same idea, the same kind of like end result goal, and we all kind of understand that formula a little bit. And so yeah, country music has that. Bluegrass is really similar. And I love what you said earlier, that convergence of country and early bluegrass and string band music.
Right. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, what way back then, decades and decades back, when somebody stepped out of line and decided to throw, a snare drum, into the bluegrass outfit or whatever, how they were, how the community accepted that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Mr. Dillon going electric, it's the same kind of shock.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that as long as it's good and sounds fun and makes people feel good, it's probably going to be accepted.
That's
the
bottom line.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Try anything.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you've produced all of your records, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, there's one that's kind of tucked away and hidden. That was the first one that was under my own name, and that was produced by a good friend of mine who I actually went to high school with, and it's much more in the rock vein.
Okay.
And it's interesting. On this trip, a good friend of mine in New Jersey, who we put us up for the first night we were on this tour, played a cassette recording of a soundboard recording of a live show from 17 years ago, shortly after that album that I'm speaking of was released. And the album's got this real kind of rock sort of sound, like things like taken from ideas from the Stones and Zeppelin and like heavy Neil Young, right? Imagine my songs sounding like that. And so...
Not really.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I had a different thing in mind when I was going into that record, but he was producer and I let him do his thing, and he's very talented. But this recording is from a live show with just upright bass, myself on guitar and harmonica, much more in the vein of how I would have maybe recorded it had I done it. And it was really interesting to hear that 17 years later.
Interesting.
Like, wow.
Is there? Can you see a time that you would relinquish the reins and let somebody else put their stamp on your music?
Yeah, it would have to be the right person for sure. Definitely have to be someone that you really highly respect and like maybe know their work, or you have some kind of cool idea that comes up.
Have you ever fantasized about somebody you'd like to work with?
I haven't gotten there yet. I was too busy putting this record out. Well, I mean, I've thought about the idea of Tucker Martine because he lives in Portland, and I wonder what he'd be like. And I don't know that we necessarily would collaborate well or not. I've thought about it.
Sure.
So yeah, that would be a fun one.
Yeah, you have y'all have a vibrant musical scene out in Portland.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
I wonder, do you get a chance to go out and collaborate with people in different musical genres, or do you stick kind of in your own thing?
I don't personally. We're in town for 2 days, and I'm resting and doing laundry, and I barely get to go out at all. That's one thing I actually really miss about being a touring musician, is that you miss out on the local scene and what's going on and the diversity that you get into.
Right.
I've always been jealous of those friends of mine who stay at home and have a day job and work as musicians in Portland and are involved in all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I've unfortunately found myself not doing much of that. I mean, it's not unfortunate because touring there's a beautiful thing about touring. You meet some wonderful people, and we get to come here and we get to travel the world. That's really special.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all just did a trip to Ireland, right?
Foghorn was in Ireland in August. Yeah, we were there. That was our second trip this year, which is amazing.
To Ireland.
To Ireland. We went in June and we went back in August.
Your eyes kind of glazed over there for just a minute. Looking backwards.
I just realized it in speaking yesterday to a friend that by June of next year we will have gone to Ireland 3 times in a year. A calendar, an actual year's time. So,
wow. And the reception over there is obviously great.
It's really wonderful. It's really great. Yeah, they've actually been begging me to bring this band over there, but
I would think that y'all would be a massive hit.
I think it would be great. We need a good anchor guarantee to make it physically work out.
Yes, it's always about the money, folks.
It is, yeah.
We're chatting with Caleb Klauder here in Studio B, and I think they're ready to fire off another number.